I'm Denise Richardson, and this is howdini.com. If you want to learn how to ace a job interview, stay tuned. We're about to talk about it with Maggie Mistel, who's a life purpose and career coach who can be heard regularly on Martha Stewart Living Radio on Sirius. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Denise.
You show up, you're dressed properly, you walk into the interview to meet the interview. What's the first thing you do when you walk in?
I love to smile. And obviously, I think you can tell by that, but I like to make the interviewer just as at ease as I'm trying to be, because really, this interview is a conversation that you're going to have with this other person who's a human being, and it can be a real icebreaker if you can just be relaxed and at least give yourself a break. Say, hi, how are you? And even try to talk about the weather or some type of other icebreaker that kind of gives everybody a chance to take a deep breath, because this is an evaluative conversation. And it can be nerve-wracking for both parties.
So the interviewer says to that prospective employee, why do you want to leave your job?
Yes, that's always a great question, isn't it? And you have to be prepared for those key questions, especially why are you moving on? Now, if you're moving on because you can't stand your boss, right, which happens a lot, and we've all been there, you don't want to say that. What you do want to say is that I really need to be in a place where I can be managed and developed and where I can get guidance or mentoring. You really focus on the things that you're looking to get as opposed to all the reasons why you don't have it now.
You know, there are some people who walk into that interview and they walk in a little defensively because they really need a job, and they hear the words, you're overqualified, and they're willing to take a job and do their best at it. How do you handle you're overqualified?
You can say things like, well, I've really thought about that, and if I were in your shoes, I'd be asking the same question. And when I think about it, I can tell you for a fact, I'm looking to downshift, and I know this industry well, and I don't need to be in charge. I've been the person on the totem pole before, and I can do that again. I'm really looking for a place where I can contribute, but where I don't have to be the one who's running the show, and really address those concerns which are behind the overqualified comment.
And they may say, you just don't have enough experience for us.
But for folks just starting out in maybe a new career, or college students who've just graduated, or even folks out of high school or new to the work world, that's a common problem. So again, I go back to internships are great, any way that you can get some experience on your resume to demonstrate, hey, yeah, I may not be, 10 years in this field, but I can tell you in this experience that I had this summer, I didn't know anything going in, and here's how successful I was. So you want to show situations where, yeah, you went in without a lot of experience, but were still able to succeed. And this is where references can be so helpful as well. Even if you don't have a lot of experience, anybody who can be a great reference for you, even a teacher or a professor, or even someone that you volunteered for who can attest to your ability to learn quickly and perform well, can be a great asset.
We really like you. How much money are you looking for? It's such a trick question.
It is. And for that question, you definitely want to do your homework. This is one of the best uses for the internet. Salary.com, Indeed.com, Monster, Hot Jobs, a lot of them have salary calculators associated with it now. So you can look up the job title in your geographic area and get the range of salaries for that position and find where you would fit based on your level of experience.
Briefly, if the interviewer hasn't brought up the word salary, should you?
Not right away. In the initial conversation, you want to get to know whether or not this job even is a good fit. And I always tell people, become the superstar to this person first. And then you're in a much better place to negotiate salary. And they may even pay more for you because they're like, wow, we can't let Denise go. She's such a fabulous candidate. We were only going to pay this much, but now that we found Denise, we're willing to do more.
Healthcare, flex time, vacation time. These are issues you should bring up during a first interview, or do you wait for come back and meet Mr. Smith?
Right. Wait for the comeback, because again, first interview should be about, is this a company I can picture myself in, and vice versa for the interviewer. And if it is a place you can see yourself in, really be your best self and really let them know why you'd be a fantastic fit.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you with us. Thank you so much, Maggie Mistel.
You're welcome.
And when she was 8 last year, she was doing a report for school, or she had some homework about frogs, and we were at this restaurant, and she said, so basically, frogs lay eggs, and the eggs turn into tadpoles, and tadpoles turn into frogs. And I said, yeah, I'm not really up on my frog reproduction that much. It's the females, I think, that lay the eggs, and then the males fertilize them. And then they become tadpoles and frogs. And she says, what? Only the females have eggs? And I said, yeah, and she goes, and what's this fertilizing? So I kind of said, oh, it's this extra ingredient, that you need to. create a new frog from the mom and dad frog. And she said, oh, so is that true for humans too? And I thought, okay, here we go. I didn't know it would happen so quick at 8. I was trying to remember all the guidebooks, and all I could remember was only answer the question they're asking. Don't give any more information. So I said, yes. And she said, and where do human women, like where do women lay their eggs? And I said, well, funny you should ask. We have evolved to have our own pond. We have our very own pond inside our bodies. And we lay our eggs there. We don't have to worry about other eggs or anything like that. It's our own pond, and that's how it happens. And she goes, and how do they get fertilized? And I said, well, men from their penis, they fertilize the eggs by the sperm coming out, and you go through the woman's vagina. And so we're just eating, and her jaw just drops, and she goes, Mom, like where you go to the bathroom? And I said, I know. How we evolved. It does seem odd. It is a little bit like having a waste treatment plant right next to an amusement park. Bad zoning. But she's like, what? She goes, but Mom, but men and women can't ever see each other naked, Mom, so how could that ever happen? And then I go, well, and then I'm like, put my Margaret Mead hat on. Human males and females develop a special bond, and when they're much older than you, and they have a very special feeling, then they can be naked together. And she said, Mom, have you done this before? And I said, yes. And she said, but Mom, you can't have kids, because she knows I adopted her and that I can't have kids. And I said, yes. And she said, well, you don't have to do that again. And I said, and then she said, but how does it happen when a man and woman are together? Like, how do they know that's the time? Mom, does the man just say, is now the time to take off my pants? And I said, yes. That is exactly right. Exactly how it happens. So then we're driving home, and she's looking out the window, and she goes, Mom, what if just two people saw each other in the street, like a man and woman, they just started doing it? Would that ever happen? And I said, oh, no, humans are so private. Oh. And then she goes, what if there was like a party, and there was just like a whole bunch of girls and a whole bunch of boys, and there was a bunch of men and women, and they just started doing it, Mom? Would that ever happen? And I said, oh, no. Not how we do it. Then we got home, and we see the cat, and she goes, Mom, how do cats do it? And I go, oh, it's the same. It's basically the same. And then she got all caught up in the legs. But how would their legs go, Mom? I don't understand the legs. And I was like, she goes, Mom, everyone can't do the splits. And I go, I know, but the legs, and I'm probably like, the legs get worked out. And she goes, but I just can't understand it. So I go, why don't we go on the internet, and maybe we can see, like on Wikipedia. So we go online, and we put in cats mating, and unfortunately on YouTube, there's many cats mating videos. And we watched them, and I'm so thankful, because she's just like, wow, this is so amazing. She goes, what about dogs? So we put in dogs mating, and we're watching it, and she's totally absorbed. And then she goes, Mom, do you think they would have on the internet any humans mating? And then I realized that I have taken my little 8-year-old's hand and taken her right into internet porn. And I looked into this trusting, loving face, and I said, oh, no. That would never happen. Thank you.